oh my God, my phone's ringing so much, I need to hire 3 more employees. We grossed 1.8 million in revenue. And it started as a joke, returned our investment probably close to 200,000%. I spent thousands of dollars on and got nothing, but it was worth every single penny.
Okay, welcome back to the 8-Figure HVAC Brands podcast. And today we have Amber on the stage. And today's topic is we had already one meeting with Amber where we discussed the business, the marketing, how actually the business is built. And one of the biggest thing is the operations and CRMs and metrics and all the numbers. This is very important. Amber, so the stage is yours. Share what do you think about the operations? Why are you in the operations? And actually, share how that did help your business to grow to where you're at right now.
So when we opened our business in 2021, we started right with Housecall Pro. We had actually met with a former coworker of my husband's who started a business, and that was what he was using to run his plumbing business. And he was kind enough to walk us through his entire Housecall Pro. So we had an understanding of what it could do, how it differed from what my husband was used to doing when he worked for other companies. So we signed up with Housecall. We never did, the pen and paper method. We simply had a CRM. And Housecall has, it's streamlined our business beyond belief. But as with any software, it takes time to get used to. You have to figure out what workflows you like and what works best for your company. But over the last 5 years, I've been able to dial in workflows that work for us, from the phone ringing to closing out that job to me doing whatever I need to do paperwork wise. With Housecall, I have almost everything bundled into one. It does our phone system. So I use Housecall Pro Voice. So all of our calls filter through there. And the cool thing about that is every call is recorded, and then every call is tied to that customer's account. So if there's ever a question, instead of having to search through a gigantic call log, you can go right to that customer profile and there lives that recording. I also use their CSR AI feature that if for some reason me and my mom are on the phone, the customer, they can still talk to the AI and we can extract information to be able to know what we need to do when we go to call them back. They have a text back feature that if we don't answer, it automatically sends a customer a text message letting them know we're on the other line and we'll call them back as soon as we're free. We use it for our scheduling. We use it for our job and estimate creation from start to finish. So the CSR creates the job or estimate in the system, schedules it, and then that's what the technician uses to start his time, finish his time, bill out anything that he's charging the customer for. We use the Profit Rhino price book integration that they offer, so it keeps our price book streamlined and organized. And then the great thing about that is Profit Rhino does quarterly updates, so I don't even have to worry about remembering to update anything. They're based off of national industry average labor time and part price. So I didn't have to spend the time thinking about how long a replacement of a blower wheel is going to take, which was huge because we attempted to build our own price book 4 times and failed miserably. And Profit Rhino streamlined that. So you don't have to think about it. Where we do a lot of oil. Luckily, when we started using the integration, it already had oil services built in, which is not something a lot of the other price books that you could buy for a much less expensive price had. So essentially, when you would buy those price books, you'd be building your own because you had to add a half a bajillion oil services into it. So the Profit Rhino integration lives within Housecall, that everything's in one place. I run my payroll through Housecall. So when the guys clock in and clock out each day, when it's time for me to run payroll, it's all in one place. I have their punches. The payroll is streamlined because it's all living there within Housecall. And then I built all of my SOPs, my standard operating procedures and processes and procedures off of what we do in Housecall. You can do reporting. There's custom dashboards you can make. Your customer history lives there. You can add the equipment that's at the customer's house to their profile, so you always know what you're getting yourself into when the technicians know what they're getting themselves into when they go to the job. It is just a great centrally located platform for all of your information, that you're not jumping from this to this to this to this to this. And as a business owner, your mind's already going a mile a minute. Having it all centrally located and integrated together streamlines a lot of that for you.
Great. Sounds great. Could you show this, please, for those who really maybe have also some sort of CRM, but doesn't have all the processes built inside that? Because I have a lot of questions in terms of marketing thing, marketing pipeline or marketing?
They do have a marketing center built into it. I don't use it a ton because I like to make it's the marketing is the one thing I really enjoy doing myself. So I tend to make all of my own marketing material, but they do have a whole marketing center that you can do text blasts and stuff like that. But when you
but even the phone call, I mean, when the lead is coming, you said that you have all the calls are here in the in the CRM, right?
Yeah, I can show you all of that. So this is what the homepage looks like when you sign in. They did just change this over here on the left-hand side. So yours might look a little, well, they haven't changed it yet. I'm actually a Housecall Pro Super Pro. So I get to beta test all the new features they're coming out with. So this is actually, if you are currently a Housecall user and yours looks a little different, it's because I'm beta testing what this new sidebar looks like. But so our schedule lives here. It's completely live. I can see all my technicians, all my jobs. They're all color coded, but I can always see what it is I need to see at that time. When it comes to customers, though, your customers all live in here. You know, you can see in here, this is where their profile is. You can see any upcoming jobs. You can see where they are on a map. You can see any private notes or customer tags. You know, it's a customer that we don't have documentation of what fuel type he has in his home. So we can document that. But then I don't use the lead feature because I just build everything. I schedule everything as a job. But then you have your jobs.
So you don't use this pipeline at all, the lead pipeline, the marketing?
I don't use the lead pipeline at all because I schedule everything as soon as they come in. When I get calls or texts from different actual lead sources, they live in communication. So I can tell that my last Google direct booking was today. So these kind of live separately and track separately. But if I just get a call from a customer because they found my name online and didn't go through any of these like lead sources, I book it as a job right away. But all of these outside lead sources integrate into Housecall. So you can see you can put a direct booking link on your Google My Business profile that ties to your Housecall. So it looks like this when it comes through, that I can see exactly what they booked and schedule it right from there. So that I handle as a lead, kind of a lead situation. But if it's just a phone call from some random person because they saw my truck driving down the road, I don't schedule that as a lead. I schedule it right as a job right away.
Got it, because it's already booked, right? You don't work with them for a while.
To me, if I'm going to do it as a lead, it needs to come from a lead source that I'm wanting to track, if that makes sense. But
I believe that for those guys who have like 20 lead sources or 10 lead sources, it does make sense to have this lead pipeline and they do. They have
a whole pipeline feature that your leads can come through on, and that I'll show you that next, because it's a great way to keep your estimates and stuff organized too. It's not just good for leads. It is an add-on feature, but it really helps staying organized. So the cool thing about having Housecall Pro Voice is every single one of these calls lives in that customer profile. So I can even see that we missed his call yesterday, and it automatically sent, he must have called in outside of business hours. It automatically sent him a text message letting him know that it was outside of business hours and what he needed to do if it was an emergency situation, because we do offer emergency service. But all of them are recorded that I could go back and listen to any one of these. I can see who made the call and how long that call was. So it's really great how everything lives together within that customer profile.
Can I ask you a couple questions about this phone voice feature? I heard from CSRs that they don't like the Housecall Pro calling like this voice application. It's not very convenient. What do you say about this? Is it like easy, or it's not easy to work with the voice feature and the computer?
I love it. And I'm going to say there is a caveat to that. You can set up your voice two different ways, or a combination of both ways. You can set it up that every call rings directly to your cell phone, which is how I have mine set up. It'll come through as like Housecall Pro audio. That's how I know it's not somebody calling me personally, that it's somebody calling from the business. But then they do also have this feature where you can they have a dialer that you can answer calls directly from your web browser. I do not like this method. Because
this is what I heard.
I don't like this method. I don't use this method. That I can see where people would say that sometimes it can be finicky. I much prefer having the call come directly to my cell phone. My CSR, I have the same thing set up with my CSR. So when a call comes in, it rings my cell phone and her cell phone, and whichever one of us gets to it first takes that phone call. I don't love the dialer. So I could understand where some people say that it can be kind of inconsistent, because you can see technically this should show as I'm available because I have the dialer open and it hasn't switched. So I don't use the dialer at all, really. I use my cell phone, which is my preferred method. And you can set that's all customizable in the settings, which is fantastic. The other thing you can set up is you can set up a call tree. So let's say you have somebody in charge of service, somebody in charge of install, and somebody in charge of accounting. You can set that call tree up however you want. And then you can record yourself saying those press 1 for this, 2 for that, which not only does it stop the spam, but it sounds more personable that a customer is hearing your voice instead of an automated AI to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. But then you can also set it up to be during your business hours, that if somebody calls in after your office is closed, they get your voicemail, or they get told that if it's a true emergency, to press 1. So it's very customizable to what you and your business need. And the other thing that I really like that they offer is it'll only pop up if you're using the dialer. So this does not pop up automatically when I schedule an appointment because of using my cell phone. But you can go in and you can do this intake flow, especially if you have employees who are new to Housecall Pro or new to the HVAC field. You can set this request guide up that it tells you what questions you need to ask your customer. First question is, are you calling about HVAC or plumbing? Once you select that answer, the next question comes. Then it just goes all the way through your entire workflow that you're asking the right questions. And then this intake form gets saved to the customer profile and the job so the technician can see it. So I like how if I did use the dialer, this would go hand in hand. But even though I don't, I still have the opportunity to use that, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Let me pause here for a second. When I started talking to HVAC owners, I realized that most of the real insights are not on YouTube yet. There are inside conversations like this, and this is why I'm documenting everything I can. If this kind of content is valuable to you, hit that like and subscribe. It tells YouTube to show you more of it. And we will keep going deeper while building our HVAC American dream together.
Now,
and
you were talking...
One more question about if they use some other like myphone.com or any other phone numbers, is it a way to integrate that into the Housecall Pro if you did that for yourself?
Not that I'm aware of. You would have your phone living on whatever option you're using. We used to have ours through Verizon, so I couldn't get those calls. I guess if you could export, if it was recorded and you could export the audio file from whatever you're using, you could upload it into this attachment section that you could still technically have the recording tied to the customer. But that would really be the only way that I could think of that you could integrate an outside phone source into Housecall.
No, but this is better when we have it in Housecall Pro. And
100%.
One more question about this phone number. The phone number, is it yours or it belongs to the Housecall Pro?
It's mine. It's mine. It's actually the business phone number. You port it in. How you do that, I don't really know. But they have a whole porting team that you can port your business number over. And then the other thing that I really like about it is when a technician is making a phone call, an outgoing phone call, or if I'm making an outgoing phone call, it shows up as my business phone number to that customer, not my personal phone number. So you have a call, they call it call masking. The call masking feature is actually what sold us on the whole thing. And the other thing too, for lead sources, depending on what plan you choose with voice, you get so many call tracking numbers. So if you do a lot of billboards or direct mail, or you're going to put a different phone number on your Google My Business profile so you can run reports on that, you have that feature automatically in. I love voice. When people ask me all the time, what's your favorite add-on feature? It's always voice, and always will be voice.
Amazing.
It streamlines operations, and not just streamlines operations, but it makes everything else easier in the pipeline. I know you asked about actual pipeline. They moved everything around on me. So pipeline, like I said, is an add-on feature that you do have to pay for, but it pays for itself. Now, as I said, I don't use the lead sources pipeline, but this is what it would look like if I did. And it would automatically move through this pipeline that, if you need to reach back out to that customer. Did the customer call you and not answer? How many times have you tried to get in contact with that customer? I also don't really use it for my jobs because I did not have it set up properly. And I have a lot of background work I have to do to fix how I have it set up. But what I do use it for and what it has made an impact on our business with is with estimates. So if you have the estimates pipeline turned on and that you're using, it automatically follows up with that customer on that estimate for whatever window you set it as. So you can see right here, and this is my legitimate Housecall Pro account. You're not seeing a demo account. You're seeing my actual.
Thank you for sharing.
You can see right here that the estimates pipeline alone has generated $27,674 for me last 30 days. When you schedule it, it goes into the scheduling column. And then once Justin's on it and is building the estimate, it becomes in progress. When he completes it and sends it, it goes from completed to sent, but then it has automation set up that instead of me having to reach out to customers, I can set it up that it sends them a text and an email to follow up within however many days you want to set it to. And then
that would be my next question. Whose job is it to do follow-ups? Is it yours or Justin, or it's
Housecall Pro's job.
Autopilot,
so
right?
It follows up, I think up to 2 weeks after you give that customer that estimate. Because, let's be fair. If a customer hasn't made a decision in the first 2 weeks, they're probably not ready. There are times, if we get a little slow, I'll do some manual follow-up, but I let Housecall do it for me. It saves me a lot of time. And then even if they rejected it, the automations built into the pipeline move it through that it's less manual work on me. I love the estimates pipeline. I'm in process of fixing my jobs pipeline, but that's a project that's a little lower on my to-do list. But
and in terms of the company structure and the team structure, estimates pipeline is responsibility of Justin, or it's you are in charge of this pipeline?
Neither one of us really have to be in charge of it because the automations push everything through. When you set up these custom automations that are on the screen, it kind of allows you to be a little bit more hands-off. He builds the estimate and sends the estimate and talks to the customer about the estimate. And if the customer has questions, one of the two of us answer those questions. But when it comes to it moving through the physical pipeline, we don't have to do anything. The automations do it for us. Oh, you said you wanted to see the marketing. This is actually really cool. And I'm going to say, I don't know that everybody has this yet because this was another beta test that I'm betaing, but they have this marketing dashboard now that they came out with that you can kind of, as long as I remember to track the lead source, you can easily see which lead sources have been the best for you. Obviously, I'm not so good at tracking my lead sources, but that's
we talked about that in Vegas.
We did. We talked about that when we were at AHR. I'm not very good at remembering to track them. Something I know I need to get better at. But the one thing I really liked here when they just rolled this beta test out, you can have it check the health of your marketing. And I haven't really vetted this information just yet, but it essentially rates your Google My Business profile. This is my literal Google My Business profile and how you're standing and what your reviews are, how fast they're coming in, how fast we're, replying to them. So I thought when I started beta testing this, I thought it was really, really cool that they built that ability in there. Again, I don't believe it's rolled out to everybody yet. So if you are on Housecall and you don't have it, that's why, but it is coming once those of us beta. That's the really cool thing about being a super pro too, is when they make these changes, we get to beta test it. And I love software. So I will do everything in my power to try to break it so I can give them quality feedback. I probably do 4 or 5 hours worth of product meetings with product managers a month going over some of these features. So when I said in the earlier episode that they listen to what we as pros say, not only do they take our suggestions, But then when we're beta testing it, they actually take our feedback from what we beta tested. Because when I beta tested this, I said I love that it's rating my Google standings, but I'd also love it to rate the rest of my standings, whether that's social media or my website. I don't know if that's coming, but it was feedback I gave and feedback that they took.
That's a great feedback, by the way.
Yeah, there's no other company that I know of, CRM, HVAC CRM software wise, that actually does that. You can see all your recent activity, your recent reviews, and then they give you options of what you can do to get more leads coming in, whether it's postcards, text blast, automatic campaigns. You can set...
What about the reviews, by the way? Do you have this automation and it replies automatically,
Yes.
or you do it manually?
Well, so I have the automation through Housecall that it sends every customer a review. You can set those parameters however you want. I have 100% of mine going to Google. The only because I've found when I do remember to ask customers, that's where everybody tells me they found me, was Google. So the only downside to putting 100% to Google is if they don't have a Gmail account, they can't leave the Google review.
Right.
So that would be that's the only downside. So, but you can have it direct, 10% to Facebook or 5% to Yelp, whatever your preference is. But then Red Barn Media that I talked about in the last episode, they reply to all of my reviews. So I don't have to do any of it. And I actually don't I don't make my technicians ask for reviews. We generated, what did it say earlier? 390 some reviews simply just using the review automations in Housecall Pro.
And did you rate if it's a person asking for a review or this automation, what was the rate? Let's say 10 jobs and you got 8 reviews, and 10 jobs and you got 5 reviews with automations. Do you know these numbers?
No, because in 5 years, I've never required any one of my technicians to ask for a review.
Oh, you started using the automations right away, right?
Yep. So I started using, and I'd say within our first year, we probably had 50 to 75 reviews in our first year, which is, in hindsight, like looking at now that I work with other business owners, that's actually a lot. And there are some local businesses that don't even have that. And we're competing, total review wise with the private equity companies strictly just because of this reviews automation.
Do you know the number of the conversion from the jobs to reviews or requested reviews to actual review? That's an interesting number maybe to share with those who is watching.
Well, so I don't know that number right off the top of my head, but you can see here, I did yesterday, we probably had 10 service calls, and 3 of those are already reviewed.
Mm-hmm. And maybe they will be more. Yep.
Yeah. So because that was just yesterday. And in May, so 11 in May and we're only on the 19th. So that's great. Just a little less than one a day.
Yeah, that's very good. I just had a short question about the reviews. If you have any if you have any suggestion on how to attract more reviews, like do the service calls and ask for a review, or do maybe free visits to your clients and ask for a review. What do you have in this direction?
I only have turned the automation on. That's honest to God, the only direction I can give you. Okay, the only other direction I can give you outside of that is make sure that if you have company standards, make sure that everybody is following them, because those if your company standards are high, your reviews will reflect that. And you can see, I lied earlier when I said we had 395. We have 406. So
yeah, I checked. It's more than 400, right?
I try not. I don't look at them often. But if you have the company standards and company values, and all of your employees are reflecting those, and you have the automation turned on, you almost don't even have to ask or offer, because the quality of work you're providing and the reminder to leave it is all you need.
Got it. Thank you for sharing. Amber, I know that you have to go and we need to wrap this up. So, and you said that you will share a link for the Calendly, that if anybody wants to more detailed and more in-depth meeting
if
with you.
If you are a current Housecall Pro user and you want to walk through some of my workflows, that Calendly link will send you right to my calendar. If you're not a current Housecall Pro user and you want to see how somebody uses it in a day-to-day operations before you commit to switching or commit to doing a demo with their amazing team, that Google Calendar will also allow you to do that. I'm always a wide open book. I will share my workflows, my processes. I'll show you how I use my account, whether you're a current user or a potential future user.
Thank you for that, and thank you for your time and sharing all this with those guys from the industry and the others. I hope see you around. And
yeah, I'll be out at Service World in Vegas in November.
Yes, I'll be there too. So
yeah, I was supposed to do the huge convention in Orlando in August, but my oldest son is testing for his 3rd degree black belt that same week. So I am not making it to that one.
So we see each other in Las Vegas.
We'll see each other in Vegas in November at Service World.
See you. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you. Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. See you guys. Bye.
Have a great day.
Great day.
Thanks for watching. This channel is about real HVAC business, real numbers, and the journey of building the HVAC American dream. If you're on that path too, hit that like and subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below where you're at right now. So let's chat in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode.